Assalamualaikum everyone and very good day for all of you who is watching this video. So today this is a group project of MAT263 and we will talking about determinant. But first of all, I was a student of CDCS 111 and without further ado, let's go to the group project. So I'll introduce my team first. The first one is Arfam Ribin Azam. It was me himself. And the student number is 2023889532. And the second member is Muhammad Haris bin Rosalan. The student ID is 2023814292. And the third member is Muhammad Hafiz bin Ismail. 2023866346 was their student ID. And the last members is Muhammad Takib bin Azban. The student number is 2023681478.
So the title of case study is Analyzing Key Revenue Drivers for Home Pasta Cafes. Home Pasta Cafe decides to perform a deeper analysis of their cafe operation. They want to consider the effect of change in the number of customers, the average spend per one customer, the number of hours the shop is open, and the marketing spend on their revenue. The cafe information given that when the number of customers increased by 10, the average spending per customer increased by 2 ringgit. The shop remains open for 3 hours extra and the marketing spends increased by 65 ringgit. The revenue increased by 750 ringgit. When the number of customers decreased by 12, the average spending per customer decreased by 3 ringgit. The shop opened for 1 fewer hour and the marketing spend decreased by 40 ringgit. The revenue decreased by 450 ringgit. And then, when the number of customers increased by 5, the average spending per customer increased by 4 ringgit. The shop remains open for the same number of hours and the marketing spend increased by 35 ringgit. The revenue increased by 350 ringgit. And lastly, when the customer remains unchanged, the average spending per customer increased by 2 ringgit. The shop is open for 3 extra hours and the marketing spending remains the same. The revenue increased by 200 ringgit. Determine the sensitivity of their daily revenue of each of these factors by solving the system of equation using determinant.
The purpose of the study on this group project is to determine the relative impact on the daily revenue of each factor. The first one is the number of customers, the second is the spending of each customers, third time of hours open, and the marketing spend. We did formulate and solve a system of linear equations that represent the relationship between these factors and the revenue changes. Using the Cyrus rule to find the determinant of 3 by 3 submetrics involved in the large 4 by 4 determinant calculation. These steps ensure an accurate computation of the overall determinant of the coefficient matrix. To analyze the determinant to verify the uniqueness of the solution to the system of equation, which indicate that the relationship between the factors and revenue changes are well defined and quantifiable.
So here we have the methodology. So to analyze the sensitivity of home pasta cafes daily revenue to changes in customer count, average spending, operating hours, and marketing expenses, the following steps were undertaken. The first step is data collection. The second step is formulation of linear equations, and the third one being matrix representation. So moving on to the next slide, we have goals or steps with step one or goal one being data collection. So the provided data points from the cafe include changes in the number of customers, average spending, operating hours, marketing costs, corresponding revenue changes, and there are two analyzed scenarios. increase in customer count by 10 and decrease by 12 with specified impacts, and increase in customer count by 5 and no change in customer count with corresponding effects on revenue. Then on step 2 or goal 2, we have formulation of linear equations. So variables were assigned to each factor, C being the change in number of customers, S being the change in average spending per customer, H being the change in shop operating hours, and M being the change in marketing spend. Each scenario was translated into a linear equation representing revenue changes. And then goal 3 or step 3, we have matrix representation. The equations were arranged in the matrix form AX equal B, with A being the coefficient matrix, X being the variable matrix, and B being the revenue change matrix.
Process for data collection is gather data on customer accounts, spending, operational hours, and marketing costs. For formulation of linear equation is we calculate determinants to ensure the system's solvability and uniqueness of solutions. And for matrix representation, we analyze the results to derive actionable insights and optimize strategies, providing clear recommendation and enhancing operation. Alright, as for calculation, firstly, we need to find the values of the C, S, H, and M. We need to create a linear equation based on the variable. And after that, we form a coefficient matrix and solve for its determinant by using cofactor formula for 4 by 4 matrix and Sarus rule for 3 by 3. As for coefficient, we got 10, negative 12, 5, and 0, 2, negative 3, 4, 2, 3, negative 1, 0, 3, 65, negative 40, 35, and 0. Then to get the determinant, we apply cofactors and Sarus rule for the 3 by 3. As you can see, 10 times negative 3, 4, 2, negative 1, 0, 3, 0, 35, and 0. Then minus 2 times negative 12, 5, 0, negative 1, 0, 3, negative 4, 35, then 0. Plus 3, negative 12, 5, 0, 3, 4, 2, negative 40, 35, and 0. And lastly, minus 65 times negative 12, 5, 0, negative 3, 4, 2, negative 1, 0, 3. So for the first minor, we got negative 235. For second, we got 660. Alright, as for the third minor, we got 440. And the fourth, we got 179. Alright, so as for results, we submit all the values into the equation, and the determinant we got is negative 13,985. So for discussion, a non-zero determinant shows that this equation has unique solution, and this guide us to understand how changes is in each factors affect the revenue. For example, we can determine how much revenue increases for each unit increase in each factors.
And the conclusion is, in this study, we aim to understand how various operational factors affect a daily revenue of a pasta cafe, with the factors under consideration are the number of customers, the average spending per customer, the number of hours the shop is open, and the amount spent on the marketing. And with this mathematical approach ensure that the pasta cafe management decisions are based on the quantitative analysis, which is the mathematical application itself, and leading to the optimized performance and increased profitability. And maybe that's all for our group project. Thanks for watching and have a nice day.